Chasidus on the Parshas Hachodesh. So in Parshas Hachodesh, we learn about our new responsibility in keeping track of time through a calendar. Hashem tells us that we are to start keeping track of time through a calendar and to start counting from the month of Nisan, which was the month that the Jewish people would eventually leave Egypt on Passover. Now, if you look in the Hebrew, the pasuk says, Hachodesh hazeh lachem. This month is the first month for you guys. And the Medrash comments on the word for you guys, meaning that you guys count from this month, Nisan. But Adam Harishon, aka Adam, the first person of all time, he didn't count from this month. He counted from the month of Tishrei. Now, the famous Sefer, the Shemi Shmuel, considers this comment a little out of place. The significance at face value of counting from Nisan was because that's the month that the Jewish people were redeemed from Egypt. Adam wasn't alive at that time. So he counted from the month of Tishrei, which was the month which he was created and the world was created in, and which we count Rosh Hashanah from, which makes logical sense. So what is the purpose of that comment? It kind of seems obvious, those two facts of information. It appears that the Medrash is trying to highlight some sort of difference between Adam and the subsequent Jewish people that goes deeper than the surface. So let's try to get to that deeper than surface level answer. So the Torah tells us that the people who were the progenitors who lived before the Jewish people and before the Avos, people like Mesushalach, Chanaich, Nayach, and Adam Harishon, they were holy people. The Torah testifies to them being holy people. Now, the way they did service of God was in a way of, let me perfect myself and stay away from the indulgences of the world. Like, we don't really find them going out amongst the people, trying to convert people and trying to change their minds. They lived in a time where they felt the world was so wicked, everybody was so different from them. Let me just stay in my Dalet Amos at my house, and I'll be a good, holy person while the rest of the world does whatever it wants to do. But then there was an evolution in the service of God. And when Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, the progenitors and the forefathers of the Jewish people came about, they started to change the way to serve God, that they made it that now we want to go and convert people and interact with people. It says that Avraham Avinu had an inn. His house was like an inn, and people would go and visit, and he'd feed them food and drink, and he wanted guests. He was looking for guests, and he tried to get them to praise Hashem. So it was a new, different type of services. It was, let's engage with the material world and try to elevate it to holiness. So now we have two paths in the service of Hashem. Both of them are worthy and noble. And now that the Jewish people are being concretized into a nation, Hashem wants no ambiguity. He says to us, I want you guys to engage in the world by making it holy. Like the pasuk in Tehillim says, Hashemayim shemayim la'Hashem ba'aretz nasan libnei adam. So the world is given to you guys, which the Chasidus says to make it like the upstairs world, meaning you guys have to elevate the downstairs world. But the only way that you can elevate the downstairs world, the world that we live in, is through engaging with the downstairs world. So this is the true Jewish perspective. We don't really believe in separation of church and state in Judaism. We believe that Hashem needs to be involved in every aspect of your life. There are even prayers for after a person uses the bathroom, and there are prayers before and eating a piece of candy. We don't live like others who live dual lives. Like one time somebody said to one of my Rebbeim, they were doing a business deal together, and the rabbi said, well, what you're doing is against Jewish law. And the other person said, Rabbi, this is business, okay? This is not Torah. That is 100% a wrong perspective. As Jews, we do not believe that. We do not separate those types of things. You cannot be a cutthroat businessman with no morals at work, but when you're at the synagogue, you're a saint. No, the Torah is there to be your spiritual guide, and it is not just a quota for you. It is supposed to be there in every facet of your life. Now, how did Hashem let us know that this is what he wants? He let us know that this is what he wants when he told us to start counting the months from Nisan and not from Tishrei. Now, how does that indicate that? That's not clearly meaning that we should be interacting with the world just because we count the months from Nisan. How does that mean what you said it means? So if you were to choose a month to start your calendar for practicality purposes, right? Now, you have to think that when you choose a month for the Jewish calendar, you're basically saying we're counting all Jewish holidays from this month. And this is the beginning of the spirituality of the year. It infuses the rest of the year with spirituality. So you'd want to choose a month where you would have a good amount of time to start with a lot of free time to dedicate yourself to Torah and mitzvahs. So you would try to start your calendar around the time of Tishrei, because by Tishrei, we're basically already done harvesting. The temperature is now starting to go down a little bit, and the Sunday, like the hours of light are going downwards. So that means that you're starting with a month where you're going to have more time to sit and pray and learn Torah, where you're not going to be working in the field as much because there's just less time to work in the field. You would never think of starting in Nisan. Why? Because Nisan is the start of the harvesting period. It's the start of the good weather. It's the start of the longer days. That's my time to go out on spring break. That's my time to pick up a few more extra hours of work in the field. So you would never start it from Nisan. But Hashem wants us to get the message that you are meant to infuse the mundane with spirituality. I specifically want you to start the year when you're working at your job, because the synagogue is holy with or without you. I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I mean. Your hot dog stand, your classroom, your cubicle, that's where I need you to bring holiness into. Those things are not holy until you bring holiness into them. And the idea of a Jew is to spread holiness to every part of the entire world. And the Sheni Shmuel actually connects this to Passover. In fact, the wicked son's Seder question is interpreted in this vein. He says, what is this service to you guys? Meaning, you guys are serving Hashem wrong. You guys are eating and drinking matzah and maror and having 4 cups of wine. That's not the correct service of God. You see, I'm not going to participate among you guys because I serve God by abstaining from pleasures and not trying to fill my gut. But that's wrong. We say that that's not the correct way to serve Hashem. I mean, not that it's a bad way to serve Hashem, but it's not the optimal way to serve Hashem. So let us keep this in mind as we enter the month of Nisan and we strive to bring holiness into every aspect of our lives. Have a great Shabbos.